Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. I'm your host, founder, and executive director of Voices for Voices, Justin Allen Hayes. Thank you, thank you for joining us on this episode. Thank you for being with us from the beginning. Thank you if this is your first episode. Welcome. You're always welcome here. And you can find our extensive catalog, diverse topics, diverse guests, and diverse tips on your favorite platform, whether that's YouTube, Rumble on the video side, whether that is Apple Podcasts, whether that's Spotify. We have quite a few. So Voices for Voices, TV show and podcast. How's that sound? Voices, sharing, expressing, communicating, sharing, expressing, communicating, sharing, expressing, communicating. That's what a voice is. We all have it. And we'll go back maybe a little bit to the roots of this organization and why it is imperative, like the Tom Petty song, Don't Back Down. Don't back down. Don't back down. The United States Constitution, freedom of speech, free to express our voice, free to express no matter what side of the aisle politically here in the United States or anywhere across the world. Doesn't matter. But here in the United States, we do have a thing called the United States Constitution. And there is something called freedom of speech. We're all we're all able to exercise that as US citizens. You have opinions, you have thoughts, you have ideas. So do we. So do I. So is Voices for Voices. So to have an inkling that will stop sharing, talking, expressing our opinion, expressing what we believe, sharing information, sharing stories. So don't think for 1 millisecond that Voices for Voices will back down, will stop using our voice, stop inspiring you, others, past, present, future. We all have ways, maybe some structure, maybe some processes that make us feel comfortable, make things maybe a little bit easier, a little bit less stressful. One of those for me, for voices, is sharing our voice, talking, sharing, expressing. So, yes to all you voices for voices, followers, donors, sponsors, subscribers, and all other people, whether you know voices for voices, whether you don't, whether you believe what we believe and you want to tune in for this episode and not for another, baby, that is called free speech. You have the ability to do that. You have the ability to change, change shows, change episode number, to watch, to listen, to do none, to neither, to some. So that's your right. But don't you dare think for a half of a millisecond, a tenth of a millisecond, because of whatever. We don't read minds. We don't have crystal balls. We're here one moment, we're gone the other. So don't for a second, a millisecond, think that somebody with mental illness like myself, I've spoken and I've spoken and I've shared and I've shared and I will continue to share my experience, our guest experience, trauma. We have all gone through trauma, small, big, medium, large, minor, major, whatever you want to call it. We've all been through some event, some moment in time where we look back and go, wow, I didn't realize that bothered me. So we go into whatever topic we want to go into. You don't control, you don't control, you do not control. You do not control voices for voices. You do not control our board of directors. You do not control Justin Allen Hayes. You do not control anybody. And so, because of whatever reason or thought goes through your mind, that by that very fact that we'll be silenced, that we won't be voices, that we'll be voiceless, that we won't have a career. We'll give we give all our money to you. No, no, see that it doesn't quite work like that. Making making words and putting words and concepts together that we're protected. I'm protected. Voices for Voices is protected. All our guests are protected under that freedom of speech because you don't like what you heard or what you saw. Uh, so what? Like Metallica, like Bob Seger, turn that page because anybody who's seen any type of entertainment, any type of movie, heard any type of song, participated in any type of sporting event. And as we have mentioned, nobody's perfect. You're not perfect. And you don't get the right to control us. And that's really something that is very powerful and yet not understandable. And so, yeah, this episode, as we have in all of our episodes, we share information, we share opinions, and it's up to you. It's up to others. It's up to individual. Everybody can make that decision. They can take it. They can take conversations that we have here. They can take conversation between our opinions, uh, mental health trauma from me or another guest, topics big and small. You can take it or leave it. Anybody that's ever known what a television is there just one channel on the radio dial? Is there just one station? For phones, is there only one option? One option? I think Apple and Google, Samsung, no, so many choices would pretty much tell you that there's not just one option. When you go to the grocery store or you have somebody in your family or somebody that's helping you goes to the grocery store, says, "Hey, pick me out a dozen donuts. Is there only one? Only one kind of donut? I go to that grocery store. I've yet to see a grocery store, donut shop have just one. Maybe there could be. But when we look at the world, get that world view, there's not just one kind of donut. Now maybe I decide that out of all the varieties of the available varieties, I may decide that I want a dozen of the same. I may decide that. And guess what? That's a decision, that's a freedom of speech there that I get to decide the dozen of donuts. If I go to grocery store one and I don't like the options, I have the free speech and the free ability to go to another grocery store, another donut shop. And if yet still I I don't find what I'm looking for, I go to I can go to a third. So our Voices for Voices TV show and podcast, it's not the only it's not the only one out there. There's not just one option. There's not just two options. There's not just three or four or five options. There's dozens and dozens and probably even thousands of choices. So if you don't like what you see, you don't like what you hear, turn that dial. That's your choice. And it's our choice what we want to share, what we want to talk about. And yes, even we are able to bring information, which we do from time to time. We bring information, we bring a screenshot, we might have an audio recording for an episode or a part of an episode. And you may not like what is being shown, like maybe you in a picture of you and another person that you say you don't know. Okay, that's you're right to say I don't know this person. It's also our right to have a counterpoint and have that freedom of speech to maybe show, oh, hmm, wait a minute. I see a picture, maybe one, maybe 10, maybe 100. And the person is right next to and their arms around that other person that they don't know. There's no hands up like this, like paparazzi or, get out of my face. I don't know this person. Don't take this picture. No, there's none of that. Again, that's your choice. If the picture's there, what do? Maybe we show it. And then what? And then we let the people decide. The people of this great nation, the United States of America, and people all across the world decide. I get to formulate. I get to formulate an opinion, a thought on that. So from time to time, there may be information that's shared that you might not like, that you may wish was not being shown or shared or communicated. And I tell you, it's the freedom of speech. Again, we're not the only show in town or in our city, in our state, our province, our nation, our hemisphere. We're not. And we know that. We have lots of analytics that show that. So turn the dial, go somewhere else. And if something bothers you, so be it. There's a lot of things that bother me and have bothered me and are probably going to bother me tomorrow and the next day and next month. There's going to be something else that's going to bother me. But I do not have that right to tell somebody you're not allowed to exercise your freedom of speech. I am, but you're not. No, no, no. Doesn't work like that. You don't get to have free reign in silence, attempt to silence, to continue to silence individuals' voices. Maybe individuals communicate through sign language. That's their freedom of speech. They're allowed to do that. Again, when you turn on Netflix, when you turn on Amazon, Hulu, Roku, whatever. I think I said those correctly. Disney Plus, YouTube TV, Spectrum, AT&T, DirecTV, and these are not plugs for these the ones that we're naming. Just showing there's options. And you know what I do when something bothers me and I might not agree with a news story or what is being talked about on the show? I turn that dial. I change that channel. I change that movie. I change that show. I change that song. I change that uh, Netflix series, that Netflix documentary. I go outside for a walk. I get something to eat. Take a drink of water. I take a deep breath. What are all those things have in common? Freedom of speech. You got it, and I got it. And Voices for Voices has it. And our guests have it. And other shows and other news outlets got it, have it too. So you see something you don't like, maybe think about that for the next time. Next time you're in an experience, in a position, think about that. You don't continue on a conversation, on a communication, your concern that it might be recorded, and you say, I got a question. Is this being recorded? And the other person says, oh, yeah, it's being recorded. You have a decision to make. You can continue that conversation. You can say, I do not consent to this. I can, if it's a phone conversation or a video call, I can press that end button. I can hang up. But if you continue to talk and spout off and say something or some things, you continue to stay on that communication, however, however that is, phone, in person, uh, a video call, whatever way that is. If you stay on that, that's your freedom of speech. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, indeed. Mm. So you don't get you're not God. You don't get that. You don't have God that power to then say, oh, hold on, months later, and say, I didn't consent to it. Okay. How long was the call? Oh, I think like maybe an hour. Okay. Did you ask if it was recorded and was that brought up? Yeah, I did actually. When did you ask? After 15 minutes or so. And what was the answer? Oh, yeah. Yeah. And they said this was being recorded. And then what did you do? Well, conversation lasted about an hour, so we talked to about an hour, and you knew it was recorded at that point. Well, yeah, I'd asked, and they said it was, and you didn't hang up, and you didn't say I do not consent to this, and you continue to talk, talk, talk. Your freedom of speech. So we have the freedom of speech that when somebody does never gives the I don't consent for talking further, that the phone doesn't hang up, that the video call doesn't end. When that doesn't happen and they talk and talk and talk, I just realized, yeah, gotta get them teeth better. So yeah, freedom of speech, United States of America Constitution. You have the right to free speech. So do we. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. Please be a voice for you or somebody in need. We'll see you next time.